Football is supposed to be predictable. The ball gets snapped, someone scores, and the game moves on. But every once in a while, the NFL throws logic out the window. We're talking about moments so bizarre they left players, coaches, commentators, and millions of fans wondering, did that really just happen? From unbelievable accidents to absolute chaos. These are the 20 weirdest NFL moments that look too ridiculous to be real. Not every unforgettable sports moment happens during the game itself. Nobody plans for a football game to be haunted by the weather itself. During the Bears-Eagles playoff game at Soldier Field, a dense fog rolled in off Lake Michigan in the second quarter and swallowed the entire stadium. Broadcasters in the booth couldn't see the field, fans in the stands couldn't see the play, and officials had to shout down and distance just so people would know what was happening. Eagles quarterback Randall Cunningham still threw for over 400 yards, essentially blind. Chicago won 20-12 in what reporters later called the best game you never saw. A surreal afternoon where the biggest opponent wasn't the defense but visibility itself. You never expect the reporter to become part of the highlight reel. But that's exactly what happened here. Touchdown celebrations are supposed to entertain the fans, not confuse the officials. After scoring in 2009, Chad Okocinco Johnson walked over to the referee, reached into his glove, and jokingly offered him a $1 bill as a bribe for a better call. The official laughed, but still threw a penalty flag for unsportsmanlike conduct. The stunt instantly went viral and perfectly captured Johnson's unpredictable personality. Long before flashy halftime shows, the Super Bowl delivered one of its strangest moments before the game even kicked off. During the pregame festivities at Super Bowl IV in 1970, a hot air balloon carrying the Minnesota Vikings mascot was caught by strong winds and suddenly drifted out of control. Instead of floating gracefully over the field, it slammed into the stadium seating, sending nearby fans scrambling for cover. Thankfully, no one was seriously injured, but the chaotic scene stunned the crowd and became an instant symbol of early Super Bowl unpredictability. Interceptions are usually reserved for defensive backs, not a 340-pound defensive tackle. But when Keith Traylor got his hands on the football, he wasn't thinking about going down. He tucked it away and started rumbling upfield, with teammates and fans losing their minds as the giant lineman somehow kept outrunning everyone in sight. Every yard felt impossible, and the commentary only made it better. You could almost feel the stadium shaking with every step. Traylor eventually ran out of gas before reaching the end zone, but for those few glorious seconds, football's biggest man looked like its fastest. Scoring touchdowns is impressive, but Jerome Simpson made it unforgettable in 2011. Racing toward the goal line, the Bengals receiver launched himself over a defender, completed a full front flip in midair, and landed perfectly on his feet before celebrating. It remains one of the most outrageous, gravity-defying touchdowns the NFL has ever witnessed. By the middle of the third quarter, Super Bowl 51 looked completely over. The Falcons were dismantling the Patriots, building a 28-3 lead while New England had no answers on either side of the ball. Atlanta's win probability had climbed to 99.8%, and fans were already celebrating a championship. Then Tom Brady started doing what only Tom Brady seemed capable of. The Patriots scored touchdown after touchdown, converted two clutch two-point conversions, forced overtime, and never looked back. James White punched in the game winner, completing 31 unanswered points in the greatest comeback the NFL has ever witnessed. Sometimes the biggest star isn't wearing a helmet. During a Monday Night Football game between the Cowboys and Giants on Halloween week in 2019, a black cat suddenly sprinted onto the field at MetLife Stadium, bringing the action to a complete stop. Players backed away while security struggled to catch the unexpected visitor, and the commentary made the moment even better, joking that the Cowboys had just been cursed. The cat eventually disappeared into the stadium tunnels, but not before stealing the spotlight from both teams. Halftime entertainment almost turned into a disaster in 1991 when the Saints hosted the 49ers at the Louisiana Superdome. A fireworks display seemed to go perfectly until sparks ignited a fire high in the stadium rafters. As players returned for the second half, smoke began rising above the field, leaving fans wondering if the game would continue. While most people had no idea what was happening overhead, stagehand Frank Sweet clipped into a safety harness, crawled across the ceiling, and put out the flames before they could spread. By the time the cameras found him on the giant video board, the crowd erupted. One quiet stadium worker had just saved the game. Most fans show up by car, bus, or maybe even on foot. These Broncos fans decided that wasn't nearly exciting enough. Before kickoff, a group of skydivers jumped from an airplane carrying Broncos flags and parachuted directly into the stadium. Thousands of fans watched as they floated toward the field, turning the pregame into something that looked more like an air show than a football game. Every landing drew louder cheers, and the atmosphere was electric before a single snap had even been played. This wasn't part of the halftime routine. During a game, the team's oversized mascot came charging across the field and completely steamrolled a cheerleader before swallowing her inside the giant costume as part of the act. From the stands, it looked like she'd vanished in one bite, leaving the crowd howling with laughter. Mother Nature handed the Vikings one of the biggest losses in franchise history before kickoff even arrived. In December 2010, a massive snowstorm dumped more than 2 feet of snow on Minneapolis, and the weight became too much for the Metrodome's inflatable roof. Cameras captured the exact moment it ripped open, sending thousands of pounds of snow crashing onto the field like an avalanche. The 2007 Patriots looked untouchable. They entered Super Bowl 42 with an 18-0 record and were just one win away from completing the first perfect season since 1972. Standing in their way were the underdog New York Giants, a team almost everyone expected to lose. Then came one of the greatest plays football has ever seen. Eli Manning escaped what looked like a certain sack and launched a desperate pass downfield. David Tyree pinned the ball against his helmet while falling to the ground, keeping the drive alive. Moments later, the Giants scored the winning touchdown, ending New England's dream season in stunning fashion. When the Ravens lined up for a 66-yard field goal in 2021, almost nobody thought it had a chance. It would have to break the NFL record just to force everyone to remember it. Justin Tucker launched the kick, and for a second it looked like it might come up short. Instead, the ball smacked the crossbar, bounced straight up, and somehow dropped through the uprights as time expired. The stadium fell silent while the Ravens celebrated one of the most unbelievable finishes ever. To this day, it still stands as the longest successful field goal in NFL history. With no time left and the Packers trailing by 2, Green Bay had one final play from midfield after a defensive penalty. Everyone knew the ball was heading to the end zone, but nobody expected what happened next. Aaron Rodgers launched a towering Hail Mary that seemed to hang in the air forever before Richard Rodgers came down with it for the game-winning touchdown. Ford Field went from celebrating a Lions victory to complete silence in an instant. The play became known as the Miracle in Motown, adding another unforgettable chapter to Aaron Rodgers' long list of late-game heroics.